Meantime, Booking Holdings beating second quarter profit and revenue estimates. International booking strengthening at the Priceline and Kayak parent helped offset weaker travel spending in the U.S. Joining us right now, Glenn Fogel, Booking Holdings CEO. Good morning to you. Is the YOLO economy continuing, Glenn? Is that what these earnings are suggesting?
Well, good morning, Andrew, and thanks for having me. And certainly we are very pleased with the second quarter numbers. Did show a lot of people still traveling. I think that's just the fact of life nowadays. People like to travel and they're going to spend their money that way. So even in areas where perhaps there is softness in the economy, people still are prioritizing going traveling.
So there is an issue, though, of folks coming to the U.S., something you actually pointed to a couple months ago when we talked. What's going on there?
Hasn't really changed, unfortunately. We still have an incredible deficit in terms of people outside the U.S. coming to visit us here. It's really sad because when you look at us compared to 2019, we are still below the number of people who came and visited in 2019. And that's bad for the hotel industry in the U.S. It's bad for the employees. It's not good.
And how much do you think that's a function of economic weakness in these other countries? How much do you think this is some kind of political statement? And can you identify where there are certain countries that used to come to the U.S. that may not be right now and what's going on?
Yeah, I think it's a factor. It's many factors. Look, obviously we see Canada, U.S. way down, but Canadians are still traveling. We see them going to Mexico. So for our business, because we're so global, we're still getting the business. But the people in the U.S. who work in the hotels, they're not getting those Canadian visitors. And we'll see it in Europe. Europeans not come to the U.S., but we see Europeans are going to Asia, or perhaps they're traveling within Europe. We still get that business. The American hotelier does not get that business. Now, why? Well, it certainly can't be because the dollar is so strong so people can't afford it. That's not it. As we know, U.S. dollar has decreased, making it cheaper for a foreigner to come visit. So I have to say it probably is some of the elements that we see in the geopolitical area where people are saying, I'm not sure I want to go to the U.S. right now. Maybe I'm going to have a problem, immigration, passport control. And one thing that's really big is going into the U.S., if you are a non-U.S. citizen, you can have a really long line to get through that passport control. You go back home, you tell your friends, I went to the U.S., it was a wonderful place to visit, but it took me 3 hours at JFK. That's not conducive to increasing the number of people who are going to come visit us.
Can I ask you, Glenn, do you spend any time talking to folks in Washington about that particular issue?
I spoke with Secretary Duffy about that, as did many others. We've talked to people at Homeland Security about this. We've talked to people at State Department controls immigration. All these issues, it's throughout. Everybody gets it. The administration understands this. They're putting money in. The new bill is going to help improve the situation. And it's really important because we have two really big tourist things coming. We got World Cup coming to the U.S. We got the Olympics coming to the U.S. We want to make sure that people are able to come here, be able to visit and have a great time, spend their money here. It'd be great. We obviously want to get a big piece of this. And so we have an incentive to help improve it.
And I would imagine you can maybe explain the math, but for every dollar spent on an additional TSA agent, for example, that lets folks get through that line quicker, that there's a force multiplier in terms of economic impact.
Oh, no, absolutely true. And the fact is, so many people say, look, I'll pay an extra $25. I'm spending thousands to come visit. I'll spend $25. I'll spend $50 if I don't have to wait so long. But the problem is, and speaking with the secretary about this and other people about this, part of the issue, though, is actually the physical amount of space you have in these airports. You can only put so many booths to get people through to check their passports. So there's a physical issue, too.
In terms of just looking at the strength of the customer around the world, irrespective of sort of where they're traveling, are you seeing any trends in terms of people going sort of looking at lower-end hotels that might have been looking at higher-end hotels before, or downgrading in terms of what's happening in terms of airfares going from economy plus to regular economy, or by the way, the opposite, which would be even a more pleasant surprise?
Yeah, you're definitely getting to see a two-speed type economy around the world almost, but particularly in the U.S., where you see the lower end having a little more difficulty. So you see more softness in the 2-star hotel, the 3-star hotel. You see back of the cabin of the plane, a little bit more trouble there. Whereas people who are doing well in their terms of their own personal economy, they're still spending a lot of money. And for us, obviously, we want everybody to travel, everybody, no matter how much money we want them to go. But for our business, for example, we see over 30% of our customers are what we call genius levels 2 and 3. Those are frequent travelers. And those people are producing, mid 50% of our Booking.com accommodation. So we're not as impacted as perhaps an airline might be.
Glenn, let me ask you a different question about the business itself and to the extent that there's a moat around your business, how you think about AI impacting that. And let me just lay out a situation for you. It seems to me that one of the things you've done so very well is develop relationships, contracted relationships, APIs, and all sorts of other things with all sorts of airlines and hotel companies and the whole thing, so you can actually, soup to nuts, really create an easy on-ramp for the customer. And that's been a great thing. My question is, in an age where, OpenAI and its new operator or agent service or some of the others that are doing similar things, whether one day they too will be able to actually make reservations directly with the hotels or directly with the airlines, effectively going and not even needing what's called an API, meaning that literally the service, the AI will literally just go to those websites on their own and be able to almost, reverse engineer what you've created without needing to have those relationships.
Yeah, I know I'm smiling at you a little bit because, of course, we hear this many times. And one of the great things is establishing relationships. So, for example, you happen to mention OpenAI. And, of course, we are very proud to have been one of the founding partners with them in their operator mode. And if you saw their most recent thing, the agent mode, and I don't know if you saw their introductory video that Sam Altman led off, but if you look at that, you'll see it's Booking.com that's doing the hotel booking there, which is just wonderful. And look, we have relationships with Microsoft. We're doing with Amazon and Alexa. We're talking with all the people in this area to create this. We provide a very specialized, very complex, very hard to do business. They do a very hard business themselves in terms of these large language models. Together, we can create something great for the consumer and great for the partners. We're going to continue to work together. I've heard this thing that you're going to get disintermediated for the 25 years I've been here at this company. And it's funny, I've heard it when Google was coming out. I heard it, the hotels are getting their own websites. You heard it all the time about AI. We have great AI that we're doing working together. During the time I've been here, the 25 years that I keep hearing how you're going to get disintermediated, our stock has gone up from when I first joined. Our low point, $6 a share. Currently, we're getting closer and closer to 6,000. Make the math simple. If we get to 6,000, that'd be a thousand times increase over the 25 years. Technology has changed tremendously over the 25 years, and it will continue to change, and we will continue to change with it.